To paraphrase my close friend Homer, God is awesome. And I know that he has honored his idea, Homer's idea, to have a podcast called My Faith with Homer and Pip, because the Holy Spirit has brought some amazing people. And the latest to join the ranks is Veronica Diaz. She has overcome a great deal. Her faith story is a beautiful one. We'll let her tell it. Our producer is Brent Young. And Homer, as always, you tee it up with Veronica Diaz. We're so grateful to have her with us.
I never get tired of asking it. People that enjoy all of these get tired of me asking the same one. It used to be, Veronica, your story, but now my fascination is where you decide to start your story. Where do you want to begin about My Faith?
Wow. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm so very blessed and very grateful. I don't even drink coffee up all the time because I have God in my life and he is in my spirit. But I've never really done any podcast before talking about me. Normally we're talking about others or interviewing others, lifting others up. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity where I'd like to think maybe it might be a little bit different. I was brought to God Touch Milwaukee. And I don't have a similar story like my wonderful brothers do, but maybe mine's a little unique in that I was born and raised in the city, and I saw many things growing up. I was born right here on the south side of Milwaukee, not just blocks away from God Touch, and it's Milwaukee City, and it's changed so very much, sir, since I was little. When we were younger, we used to be able to play outside till it was dark, ride bikes. There was more a sense of community. People knew each other's names, and so much crime and just hardship has happened in our city. So, where we were kind of faced with all different the crime and the theft, and we dealt with that then. But despite all of those kind of things, I guess God was always with me and gave me a very strong spirit, because I never was a part of any of that. I never drank in my life. I never smoked in my life. I never skipped school. I didn't, disrespect people. I knew how to respect my elders. I always did have a close personal relationship with God, even though perhaps we were raised in a more lax Catholic upbringing. So yeah, I'm just so blessed, because again, it really starts early, believing in God and prayers, and it gets you through a lot of really negative things growing up, where I could have easily turned to alcohol, drugs, saw myself maybe as a victim. I didn't want all those things. I had to see violence, domestic abuse. I had to see lots of alcoholics pass out in front of me. I had to see people die because they were hit by people that were speeding. I saw really a lot of bad things as a young person, but just being able to look to my faith and always count on my faith to get me through all of my youth, and into the city's not any better place now. So I think if you have your faith, you can get through anything.
The question is, you're around people growing up that are exposed to God the same way, but they don't handle it or get touched the way you did. What made you in private believe or buy, or what part was so strong to you that it had that influence on your life at a young age?
Again, I know God blesses us all with gifts. And I just have always been a very positive, optimistic person, lift people up. Even as a young child, my heart and my spirit is still the same since I was little. Perhaps my grandmas had something to do with it. I always saw them in prayer, and they've saw their kids always go through hardships and some failures in life, peaks and valleys. But I saw them, and I don't know, something just very deeply. Nobody had to force anything on me. I just always prayed, and I love the way that others felt when I told people that I would pray for them or build them up. And it's just something I like to think that God blessed me with a strong spirit, because I could have easily gave into all those temptations my whole life, and I never was swayed by anyone. No meant no for me.
Why prayer?
Again, where maybe it was a lax, we were up, Catholic upbringing. We did go to church sometimes. I was baptized and I made my communion and confirmation, but I definitely in with age, when life started to happen to me, I really sought it out even more. I can't, it's something, when God is with you, I don't even know how to explain it. I know it was something that was never really pushed onto us as young people, but I always sought it out. And I might have been the only one, but I always gravitated towards people that also like to pray, or people that went to church, or had types of Bible studies. I just always really resonated towards that.
And if you had a minute or only 2 minutes to tell someone what they need to know about God or your faith, what are you going to start with?
I mean, he hears you. He hears you. It's something, even as a young person, me not knowing, just believing in the word, knowing that he hears you. There's this peace that comes over you with knowing that even though you may feel alone, or you may feel down, or you may feel sad, that you are not alone. If you truly surrender any type of hurt, doubt, pain, um, you question something, if you seek him, there's this unbelievable sense of peace and love that comes over you that can only be felt if it's just you truly do it. Nobody can make you. It's just something that you have to believe. Sometimes you can't, it's a faith over fear. It's faith is being able to feel something even though you don't always see it. And it's a very true. I don't know if it's okay for me to throw this in, but this happened just maybe 5 years ago. But life was always good. I was one of the best athletes growing up. I was on the honor roll, perfect attendance. I kind of thrived over positive things and building people up. And I'm now a 5-year breast cancer survivor. And so just having the faith build me at such a young age to help others build and become stronger. I was kind of alone during that process, where I didn't have a significant other in my life, but I mean, I was given such grace, and he was so merciful. The people at Freighter Hospital told me that I was like their best patient, because just coming there every single day with a smile and knowing that God has me. I never said, why me? I just said, God, just be there with me. Give me the strength to be able to get through this scary journey. And I just always knew I was going to be okay. I'm like, let's get it out. I've got lots of life to live, and I've got lots still to do. So here I am. So again, that's just one testimony of, yet again, how God is with me and has a plan for me.
I'm not necessarily speaking for myself, but I think I speak for thousands that may watch this and go, Veronica, I'm sorry, I'm not you. I'm not like that. How do you get that way? How do you fight through? I'm mad at God, or things have happened to me that I just can't be like you. Where do I start, and how do I start to try to change? Who wouldn't want to handle things like you?
Right. And again, I don't give myself any credit at all. I really am the girl next door. I'm not, immune from any kind of hurt, any kind of pain, but what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? If right now a person is in heaviness, is in hurt, is in pain, do you want to live like that? You don't have to live like that. If you give it to him, he wants you to give it to him. You don't have to be by yourself. And if you're not ready, if you're not, you prayed once or twice, I mean, if you surround yourself around people that pray, surround yourself around people that love you, surround yourself around people that want to be there for you. It's such a feeling. You don't have to be burdened all by yourself. Even if it's just one person who's strong in their faith or strong in their prayer, you'll be amazed, because right now keeping yourself at a bad negative place, you're going to stay in a bad negative place. You have to take yourself out of that, believe, prayer, surround yourself around love, and you will have love. If you surround yourself around fear and doubt and pain, you're going to have fear, doubt, and pain. So, it's a lot. Nothing in life is going to be easy. But just if you want something different, you have to do something different. So I say, you start in small ways by being around people who have a strong faith, who have strong prayer, and watch how your life changes.
This might be every day, but when have you felt the closest to God?
I would say when I was going through my divorce. I used to feel a little bit bad to talk about that, because in some sense you feel like you failed. I waited till I was a lot older in life because I thought it was going to be forever, and in the eyes of God, in a church, and being with somebody for 18 years, and you think it's going to be forever till till the Lord takes you, right? And when it's not that way, it's a very, very painful. And it takes people to truly to fight to have something work. And when you have tried everything you can and you know that it's not going to get better, I mean, really, really surrendering on my knees, and in tears, but after that happened, I had such a peace about it, and I was able to handle everything a lot easier and a lot lighter after that. So it's not always easy, sir, but you have to do it.
It's my belief that one of God's greatest strengths is when you ask to create peace, and you have given a great example. Every answer, I think, is different. As much as you can tell us, how did that happen? Clearly, you had no peace with what was going on, and then at some point, the peace came. How did he answer that? How did he give you peace in that situation? And I emphasize, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same for someone else in their situation,
Right.
but God's close to 100% on giving people peace somehow, some way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, the word surrender for me was just the best way I could explain it. I didn't ever plan to say, I'd been trying so very long for me to fix things. What else can I do? What more can I do? And, in life, I think we all at some point of our lives realize that if you try doing it your way without asking for help, it doesn't always turn out too well. But sometimes you have to, make the mistake more than one time to learn it. But once you again, it's almost insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting change. You have to realize, God, this is not working. Maybe this is not what you want for me. And it's unfortunately, sometimes we have to go through those hardships, but this is life. I'm one of many, many, many people that have had to gone through this, and I think truly just wanting and searching for that peace. I do consider myself a very loving and a giving person, a faithful servant of God. And all I wanted was peace. I didn't want, the biggest house or the most popular career I just wanted peace. I wanted to live peace in my life. And to me, that's, along with my health, is the biggest treasure. But just really, truly getting on my knees and just crying and talking to God. And again, I mean, it's just something, it was a deep moment. It was something that had to happen. And I knew it was the right thing to do. The timing of it, you don't plan it. It is what it is. And it happened. And I'm so grateful that it did, because after that, I mean, even though that there was that pain and the tears and the just surrendering, such a peace came when I was done. And I felt that he was with me. And I knew everything was going to be okay, sir.
I wish I could get a picture of that moment when you just say, wow, like, I can't find peace. No, I've got it. Wow.
I did have it. Absolutely.
And you have it today the same way. It's been with you ever since that moment.
I do. Nobody's life is perfect. We don't live in a place that's going to be perfect, right? You just do the best you can. And I know that, I've grown in my faith, and again, not trying to fix everything or always have an answer for everything. He wants us to have a close and personal relationship with him. And we can give it to him, give it to God, and he listens to us, and he, may not always be, when you want it, but he's there, he's working. And if you practice patience and have faith, he always delivers, sir, always delivers. So I'm not going to change anything. He has done it for me in many different ways, in different stages in my life. And I'm going to continue to live it, to read it, and to preach it to others, because it worked for me.
Tommy, take it away. I'm curious what you're going to ask next. That's become another part of my faith.
Well, Veronica Diaz, our guest on My Faith with Homer and Pip, and of course referred by our good friend Marty Calderon, who came through the Lord, and our producer Brent Young. And Veronica, you have been absolutely amazing. The surrender piece is what I'd like to hear more about. You make it sound so easy. How do I get that? You know, there are probably a lot of us saying, Veronica, will put a check in the mail to one of your great causes. How do you get to the point where you can, Jesus, I love you, Jesus, I trust in you, and I surrender to you?
You know, again, it didn't come to me. I didn't say, hey, I'm 23 years old and I know the right thing to do is to surrender and I'm going to have peace for the rest of my life. It's a process that how you grow in your faith. And I know I've always had a personal relationship with God, but I didn't always read the word, Mr. Pippin. I learned you grow in your faith and you surround yourself around people that help you get closer to your God, that help you to understand things that you don't understand. And I work for a very amazing physician who is very strong in his faith, and he, I like to think he's one of my guardian angels to help me grow in my faith. Pastor Marty, he is one of my another little angels that helped me to grow in the faith. It makes so much sense, when life starts to happen to you. And you try to figure things out and you're alone and you're confused and you spend all this time trying to think of how can I fix things? How can I fix? That's not the answer. There is so many hours and minutes spent on like, what can I do? I'm a go-getter. I know when it comes to business, I got it. I can take care of business. I'm a multitasker. When it comes to giving others good advice and helping others take care of things, I'm 1, 2, 3. I'm great. But when it came to myself, sometimes it wasn't always that easy. I had to learn, I didn't want that way, wasn't working for me. And even though sometimes it was alone, I mean, growing up in high school, a lot of people have their best years or memories of high school. And I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I was more of my parents taught me I was there in school to learn. It was like a business for me. I knew that I was going to be held accountable. And so I had to study, study, study. So always doing the right thing sometimes can be a lonely place, sometimes can be boring. But I had peace with my God, and that was good enough. I know I was on the right track, and I know that He was preparing me for bigger things. So just it's something that I preach, and now I even wish that I maybe would have started to talk about it more freely with young people my age a lot sooner, because I've seen so much in the inner city and out of the city. But you see things that you've gone through with other people that are struggling and thinking, how can I figure this out? Oh my God. And sometimes people turn to unfortunate negative things to try to numb their pain, or they turn to other people that are not always good people or very influential people to try to fill that void because they don't want to be alone, instead of immersing yourself with God and the word.
Mm. We love a God who loved us into existence, as you know, Veronica.
Yes,
And I was just reading this morning about how He loves us so much, that divine love. And then many of us just run around being human doings. I got to do this to earn His love. I got to do that. And the idea that was being made was we just have to allow Him to love us, to complete that circle, and then go out and do for Him. It sounds as if that's the way it works in your life.
It really does, and that's something that really resonates with people where I live. It's very, to them, people understand simple, I think what really gives a lot of people hope, and especially what we're doing here at God Touch, there are people that are struggling, with, everybody knows somebody who, unfortunately, who has been incarcerated, who, has been raised in a single family, broken homes, and so when you can show love and when you can pray on people, man, they really go to that. They really resonate with that. They want more of that. So there's always something that we can do to pray for people, to, plant some seeds. And we're not, I'm definitely not planning on saying, I know all the answer, but I do know that if you're around if you're around people who pray for you, allow for people to pray for you, because God works in all of us in some type of way, and if you can connect with 2 people or 5 people, those people are going to pay it forward to other people. And right now in this day and age that we're living in, God and goodness and reading the word, that's the answer. It's, trying to figure out things on your own and searching bad things or, drugs or alcohol or people. That's not the way, it's not the way. It's people. God has all of these guardian angels that work together and come together, and we try to pray for others who need it, and hopefully open, plant seeds and show them that there is a way. And, here at God Touch, not only are we a part of food disbursements that happen on several days a week, through every week, and people are shown love and goodness through our kind works. But it's not just about here's your box of food, have a good day. It's about God bless you. We're so happy that we can share the blessing with you. Have a blessed day, and then those people are shown goodness. So now those people come to service on Sunday and tell others, hey, that place right there on the corner of 15th and Lincoln, they really do love us. They really are praying for us. And again, it's spreading. So we can do our good deed and spread the word. That's what we want to do in Jesus' name.
Amen. And heart and soul. What I love to do is I love to get it back to Homer, because I guarantee he's got more great questions for you, Veronica. But I would just ask this. I'm reminded it's like a game, basketball game. And the Lord says, I need someone off the bench to really be a game changer. Let's call in Veronica Diaz with her faith. Talk to us a little bit more how that translates into things you're doing for God Touch Milwaukee, even in the political realm, as you're trying to change things for the better.
Yes, absolutely. I was brought here to God Touch. I'd like to think God brought me here. Pastor Marty and I, we had a mutual friend, and we kind of ran into each other at a quick trip out in Oconomowoc, and we're both in Milwaukee, but we ran into each other at a quick trip out in Oconomowoc. And aren't you Pastor Marty Calderon? He's like, aren't you Veronica Diaz? Yes. And man, I think the rest was history. But I knew about what he did, and I was in the city, so I would come and kind of watch these outreaches happen. I'm like, wow, look at all these people that come together, such diverse people, different ages. They weren't all even necessarily from Milwaukee. Some were from outlying cities, but they knew somebody here, so they would come. But he would pray for people, and everyone showed him so much love, and they always reached out for these big hugs. He's a big teddy bear. But I'm like, I like that. I want to do some of that, So it's been 2 years now, and I'm still here. I don't get paid. I just do it because, I do it for God. I love the way it makes me feel. I'm very much fulfilled in what I do, giving to others. And what you said about the political realm, I actually did step outside of my comfort zone. I've always been a private citizen, just the girl next door. And I was nominated by somebody, a political leader, to run for state assembly, District 9, here on the south side of Milwaukee. And I was like, me? I wasn't born into politics. I don't know. I guess I must have crossed off, I checked every box on her list, and one at the top of those was my faith. And she was like, you know what? You're the real deal, Veronica Diaz. I couldn't think of anybody better to represent this district, this city, because you were born and raised here, and the things that affect your neighbors affect you. You're involved. You're not just talking, you're doing, you believe, and you love up on people. And that's what we need more in politics. I was like, well, if you believe in me, then I believe in me. I already know God. I've got God on my team. So if he can be with me, no one can be against me, right? So yeah, I just did it, and unfortunately, I didn't win. But you know what? I feel that God is preparing me for something bigger. So it's about experience. It's about meeting more people and sharing the gifts that God gave you with others. And from that experience, opened up the door for so many other opportunities, Mr. Crippen. I have done many radio programs, conservative talk radio, faith-based radio. I've been on the TV a lot of times doing commercials for things. I was like, little old me, just doing things, I always pray on it. I pray and I'm like, God, do you want me to do this? Is this okay? Can I be of some help in some type of way? And he's always giving me the green light. And because I've done them, he says, I'm getting more opportunities, like being able to be on your show. And even though you didn't know me, somebody I know that believed in me. And so we're spreading, maybe this will resonate with somebody out there that needs prayer or direction or hope in some type of way. So here I am.
Yeah, well, God is the great connector, going back to that quick trip meeting between you and animal. And I agree with you. I think God has bigger things. But had we known about this, Brett, our producer, could have voted for you from Atlanta, Homer and Tosa, me right here in Milwaukee. We'll flood the streets of Milwaukee with votes for Veronica Diaz.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, sir.
You bet. I vote to toss it over to Homer. I can't wait for his follow-up.
I do have a few, Tommy. All right, Veronica, finish the sentence. God is, and finish
good.
It as you wish.
God is good.
All right. And finish this. God is not, and finish.
God is not. Gosh, I want to add a few words to that.
Yeah, anything you want, take it away.
God never leaves you alone. You're never alone. And
Your
God
problem
is
with no,
God
no.
is love.
There you go. Your problem with politics is your answers are too short. But you work on that.
To the point, right?
No, they're very good. All right. When you pray for people, is there a first thing that you pray for in common of all the different people you prayed for, or is it individually each time?
I sometimes they're a little long. I find myself praying for so many people that need it, before I pray for anything for myself. But I always pray for family, friends, loved ones, for their health, for their peace, for their direction, for the country and for its safety, for political leaders that they may have, honest hearts, and for them to do the will of the people that voted them. I pray for just anybody anywhere that has a heavy heart and doesn't think that, that thinks that they're alone, that there's not an answer. There's lots of prayers. There's always things specifically when we meet with people here at the church, people who need to have prayers for loved ones that are going through surgery or through hardships. So there's always something and someone to pray for.
And I know you have a dream for the future.
Yes, it's definitely not everyone's dream. I definitely feel so fulfilled doing my works here at God Touch, and I want that to be for as long as Pastor Marty and my brothers here will have me. But I definitely want to do something in politics, sir. I feel, that I'm not a pushy politician. I'm not a career politician. I don't even need to be in it for years and years. I just want an opportunity. I want an opportunity to represent the people of my city in a loving but constructive way, and not backing down at all to how strong I'm a believer. I think sometimes people say the right things and, I believe in God, or, God is front and center in my life. But then once they get to a certain place, they tend to more talk about policy and other things and not so much about their faith. So I want to stay true to me and stay humble and to really do the things that need to be done here in the city because we need help.
I don't know how personal you'll get. It doesn't necessarily answer personal, but of all the prayers that you've asked for, there have to be some where you went, man, God, I knew you were special, but even I didn't think you could pull this one off. Do you have any memories of anything? You don't have to be too specific, where even God surprised you at what he did.
Yeah. I think, I'm very, it's a personal journey with me, being a survivor. Every day, I never in a million years could have ever thought that I would be diagnosed with cancer. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Breast cancer does not run in my family. Yet, after the second year of getting tested, I had it. I can't stress enough how much preventative those checkups are important. But when I got, that diagnosis, and when they had me go back like 3 times because things were inconclusive. And when that happened to me, I was in total shock. And as scared as I was and as surprised as I was, God is so good. I don't know how I could, going to the cancer center every single day after my surgery and just being humbled by, you go there, you check in, and I had the surgery and my prognosis was very good. And I look around and my beautiful, loving brothers and sisters, not everybody has that outcome. Not everybody has a second chance. And I never took things for granted before, sir, but I really don't now. I wake up every single day and I'm grateful to God for more time. So I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm going to do all the things that I want to do. I'm going to love up on people. I'm going to make the most of my opportunities, not live in the little unimportant things. And so I'm just so blessed that he chose me to give more time to.
You've mentioned a couple of times about being around other people who pray, and I was thinking, who would you mention a person or two that that have wowed you, that have impressed you, that have made your faith better? Because as you said, it's to some degree about the people that you're around. Who's wowed you
Very,
that you?
very true. Yep, absolutely. I've got three people specifically that really, really, it was something so simple. I mean, I've always prayed. I always prayed. I always had a personal relationship with God, but with the way we were brought into faith, something so simple that was kind of left out of that was reading the word. And it took as a grown adult to figure out that my answer, my peace, and my journey led me to just open it, open the book, and all the answers are there. But to answer your question, the doctor that I work for is very much a devout Christian. His son is a pastor, so he really working for him for 12 years, and he helped me along in my journey. Um, uh, Pastor Ezra and his beautiful wife Wanda, they were very loving people, and helped for me they read with me and prayed for me when I was going through my cancer and other things. And the one and only Pastor Marty Calderon has taught me a lot about reading the word and about not to be afraid to share a testimony. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't know about talking about, myself. I'd rather just listen to others. And he's like, no, it's powerful. He goes, there's all kinds of people out there, and you have to not be afraid to share with people, because that will help people, And so he's prayed for me and helped for me to understand scripture and to be a part of his world, because so many people in so many different places. So I'm so blessed to have this friendship with him, and we are going to continue to pray together and to work in the city.
You've just made it very clear that the only reason you agreed to do this is because Marty convinced you to do it. And so I'll defer to Tommy to take it from here. But you answered the question I didn't even ask.
Without question, I'm thinking your middle name should be Love, Veronica Love Diaz. I love others, and I share the love of Jesus that he has blessed me with. And your identification is caught up in the love of Jesus Christ, which is awesome. I would just ask finally, is there anything maybe we haven't touched on, or that you'd say, I wish they'd have asked this, or I would like them to know this, as you try to help other people with your willingness to do this, Veronica, on their own faith journey?
I am so very honored for this opportunity. I would have asked you if you were Mr. Pippin. I've been following you for years, sir. You're a big deal, and I very much respect your work over the years. But I would just say, I'm just a simple girl, the girl next door, who went to school with a lot of amazing other individuals, who had a lot of amazing teachers and mentors, and I have been blessed to have the life that I've had, and I'm very proud of myself for being able to have made so many good decisions, to not play a victim role, and just, life, there's so many opportunities out there if you believe and are fierce and don't be afraid. What do you have to lose? I always say you have nothing to lose and only to gain. But again, just humbling yourself and knowing that I know that I'm here for a purpose, and that God has a purpose for me. I'm definitely not done yet. Every day he always opens up new opportunities, and for me to meet new people to connect with and love on, and to help them to grow in their faith. But I've enjoyed my journey. I do love up on people. I love up on strangers, and you'll be surprised. I've been told by a lot of people, you have a great smile. You're always so happy all the time, and you don't even know me, and I feel like I know you, and I think that's because God's working inside of me. I have Jesus inside of me, and I love that. That people can see that. I'm a happy person. I'm a grateful person. So I'm going to continue to do those things in His name. Connect with people. Be a part of organizations like Pastor Marty and God Touch Milwaukee. I would love to think that God has a place for me in politics one day to love up on the Madison and maybe Washington one day, but just doing His work in a simple. We can all do something in a simple way, but definitely loving, reading the Word, and prayer is going to be what I want to give to people.
It is obvious that He has great plans for you. To look at you as I close it on this end, you would say, "Oh, look at that smile, charmed life. She's not been through anything." You've talked about abuse. You talked about murders you've seen, heartbreak, cancer survivor, divorce. Is the idea with this faith journey, Veronica, to never give up?
Absolutely. Never give up. And I will forever read the word, be strong in my faith, because in the times when I think a lot of people have felt alone, have felt depressed, have felt hardship or heavy hearted, that was me. There were a lot of times where I did feel alone. I didn't have a significant other, or, my parents always in the picture, or my sister's always in the picture. My faith got me through everything. And that is my answer. That will always be my answer. And I will always share that with people. So that, Jesus is Lord, he's the word, and I will live it till the day he takes me home. But again, it's something so simple, but it's something so big especially when people are in need of it.
Homer, we're done, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah. That's a beautiful. Veronica Diaz, we're so grateful on behalf of Steve, the Holy True. And again, the Holy Spirit came together with him. He has this idea, and God has blessed us so much. Producer Brent Young make possible. I'm Tommy Pippins. Veronica Diaz, you have 3 more brothers who will be along with you on the journey and praying for you, with our gratitude for joining us on My Faith with Homer and Pip. God bless you and everything that you do, and we hope to connect with you down the line.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and God bless you both as well.